Hello, my darling. Are you looking for a way to elevate your thrifted finds? Today we're going to work with fabric dye and make some hand-dyed treasures. So a couple days ago, these were just plain slips that I had gotten from the thrift shop. And they're just gorgeous. Oh, beautiful slips, nightgowns, whatever. All right, so I'm going to show you how to use dye to transform clothing that you thrift or that you have already. And the whole point of this video is not for you to go out and buy some white slips and dye them. The idea is that if you have something in your wardrobe or you find something at the thrift shop that's not quite right, or you'd like it to be a different color, it's easy enough to do with some fabric dye. So I dyed these slips and I'm going to show you how I did it. And I think they really came out great, so I'm really excited. Let's get started. Today we're using some RIT dye that I got from the thrift shop. You can use any fabric dye. Also, I've got a bunch of slips that I also thrifted. These were in the lingerie section, but sometimes you can find them in the nightgown section. I found 3 full slips and then 1 camisole, and here I'm just showing some of the detail. These vintage slips really are beautifully made. The stitching and the details are really well done. Getting ready to dye our vintage slips. And I'm just starting by cutting off the tags. I'm going to save these 2 for the denim color. So I'm going to do these 2 in the purple. I don't know why I need 2 purple, but just to see. Okay, so we're going to start with our purple dye. Get the packet out, put our gloves on, have my apron on so I don't ruin my gorgeous Frida Kahlo sweatshirt. Gloves. The package says, I'm just going to read it, fill a plastic bucket with the hottest water, safe for your fabric. So I'm just going to use some hot tap water. I want enough water to cover my slips. I'm going to wet my slips under the faucet. You want to wash your garments before dyeing them. Got my dye. Sprinkle it in the water. It's pretty dark, which is what I wanted, something a little bit darker. I'm using a stainless steel spoon to stir it. I'm stirring it well so that the dye dissolves. The directions say you can check the color by using a piece of paper towel, by dipping that into the dye. Yeah. Looks good enough. So also, since we're working with nylon, I'm going to put some of this expired apple cider vinegar. Probably should use white vinegar, but I don't have any, so I like to use what I have on hand. So I'm going to pour in about half a cup. Give that a stir. And let's just add our slips. You could do so many things with this. You could do like a traditional tie-dye. You could do a dip. You could do something like this and just take it out and hang it up, see what happens. You want to make sure that dye covers the fabric evenly. I'm just using my hands with the gloves on. That looks really pretty. Now I'm going to put this one in. Oh, isn't that cute? So pretty. So these are both nylon, but you can, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but they're slightly different purple colors. This one's a little bit more blue. This one's a little more pinkish. We're going to let that sit for a while. The purple slips are going to sit in the dye for 30 minutes. So while they're in there, I'm going to start my blue denim color dye. I'm going to use another basin here. I've covered my workspace because I'm sure I'm going to spill some. All right, this one. Just going to take my slips and wet them. So my slips are wet. I'm going to fill my basin with hot water. All right, so I think that's enough water. I'm going to add the rest of my expired vinegar. I'm going to add my dye. That's a very dark blue. Stir up your dye bath to dissolve all the powder. Check the color. It's looking pretty good. And now I'm going to add my slips. This is the long one. Get it in there. Oops. In goes the camisole. Again, these two fabrics, even though they're both nylon, they're taking on different colors. This is slightly lighter. I'm okay if this turns out a little mottled. All right, so now for 30 minutes I'm going to stir each of these and let them sit so that the dye can sink into the fabric. I really don't know what color these are going to turn out to be. I have an idea, and I'm not being picky. I'm not going to be picky about it. If it really looks bad, then I'll put some bleach on it, or I'll re-dye it another color. So I don't really hold the color on the box to be the true color. So we'll see what comes out. It's usually a big experiment. So at first these really look purple, but now they're starting to look more like a denim, dark navy blue. Okay, so I'm rinsing out the purple one. I put some cold water in there, and I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And now I'm going to empty out the denim blue. I'm going to run my water. This is really dark. The color came out pretty good. It will lighten up as it dries. So now our items are all rinsed. You can see they're each slightly different colors. I'm going to hang them outside to dry. We're going to take a closer look at how they turned out. The two purple ones, this one has a little bit of purple modeling. You can see like there's a little bit of a lighter area here, but still perfectly fine to use as a nightgown or a slip underneath a dress or whatever you want, really. And this is the other purple one. This was the older version. You can see there's some discoloration here. I don't really care because I'll probably use this as a nightgown. It's got the really beautiful detail on the bottom. This lace part is a different type of fabric, so it didn't take the dye the same as the nylon did. But still, I think it looks great. And I'm really quite pleased with this one. Next up is the denim blue. This is the camisole. This really took the dye well. Right here, there's some thread that didn't quite take the dye, but overall, it really turned out nice. And lastly, the navy slip. Gorgeous, just really beautiful. I just don't have any complaints, and I'm really surprised these came out this well. I follow the directions, but still, you never know what's going to happen when you're dyeing things. So if you have some pieces of clothing that you want to try hand dyeing and changing the color, I definitely encourage you to do so. It's really a fun process and so rewarding. And it's a great way to upcycle clothing and fabric. So much better than buying things new. I mean, if you can take something that normally would be tossed out and turn it into something more useful, more enjoyable, prettier, why not? Go for it. So before you go out and buy something new, check out your wardrobe, see what you have already. Maybe you just need a little dye to transform it into something fabulous. I hope you like this video. I've got plenty of crafts coming up this year, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.